Hello everyone, my name is Violet. I'm a writer, reader, and watcher of things, and today I want to talk about what I'm reading, or in theory, what I will be reading, because today's a book haul, and I'm wearing these because my hands are not cute. And, with book hauls, you see people's hands, so this is really for you, you know what I mean? Okay, so I guess I'll start out with the categories I got recently. These are all used. So we're gonna start out with. I got two Harlequin romantic suspenses by Rachel Astor. We have A Spy's Secret and The Suspect Next Door. I believe this is part of a series. I'll have to check. Editing me. Hi, can you go check that? This is I believe she's the spy in this one and he's the civilian, so that's fun. And this, I believe she is a mystery author. And there's a private investigator next door. And so she's gonna hang out with him. Yeah, so the reason I got these was that earlier this year I came across Undercover Heist, which I guess I will put up over here. That's a thing that YouTubers do. Um, and it's a heist novel, sort of second chance romance between two thieves. And I've been reading it this month and I've been enjoying it. So I was like, well, I should pick up her other one. So that's why I got these. Okay, next up we have Mary Belloc Signets. Mary Belloc is maybe my favorite current historical romance author. She's real up there for me. I've yet to dislike a single book of hers I've picked up. And the one that really made me obsessed with her was actually a signet. So signet was a category line that existed. I think it started in the 70s and ran up to early 2000s, like the 2004 or so. So sadly, it missed the sort of big ebook boom, which means that a lot of the books that various Signet authors have are not available in digital formats now. But fortunately, Mary Belloc is not one of those people. She has been really good about putting her old books up so you can still access them, but not in these with these really pretty covers. So this is the famous heroine, which I'll put there. I just love these painted covers. I'm a big fan of just the old style. These are not like Regent Signets are not real spicy compared to several older historicals. Like they're not bodice rippers. They're just so pretty. They're just so pretty. I can't get over it. So they're not as like dramatic. They're not like clinch covers, but they are still like these really beautiful painted covers. So this is the famous heroine. This is the temporary wife, which I think is also very pretty. If you've read Mary Belloc's current work, then you might have like an idea about her writing style or tropes and themes that she uses that are not present in her signets. Her signets are a lot darker. They're a lot more combative, angsty. She leaned more like emotionally restrained and more kind of like pastoral and family units and stuff like that in her newer work, and that is not in her old signets. Her old signets are kind of wild. they go there, you know. We have one more signet, which is Taming Eliza by Barbara Hazard, which I think is beautiful. So this book, I read a Barbara Hazard earlier this year, which I adored to pieces, which will be in my favorite books of the year when I record that later. So naturally, when someone has a five, you want to collect their other stuff. And so I found this one and I was like, oh, yay! This is also earlier than the one I read. This came out earlier. That one came out in like 2000, I think. So yeah, this is not very good reviews on Goodreads, but I really liked Barbara Hazard's previous book that I read, so I'm excited to give this one a shot. I hope I love it too. Then we've got some old Harlequin historicals. which you can tell because these are some wild covers. We have The Highlander by Ruth Langan, which has the kind of wraparound cover, and then they have the back, which is more of the clinch. Gorge. I have not heard of Ruth Langan. I saw this one and I was like, dang, this is really pretty. And I'm also trying to collect category romance. I'm trying to collect romance in general that's not just Regency. We also have Siren's Call by Merlene Lovelace, which does not have the wraparound back. But this is set in, I think, ancient Greece, which I don't know of many set in ancient Greece. So I was like, you know what? For the novelty alone, I kind of have to give this one a shot. And then we have Elizabeth Lowell's Warrior. I had a bad time taking the sticker off of this, as I think you can tell. This was supposed to not be this foil, but yeah, this is a reprint of a Harlequin, no, a Silhouette Desire, I think, from the 80s. And so if you're ever at like used bookstores, just a note, if you see Mira, you see this sort of gold star with the blue, that is often reprints of, I've come across them frequently as they like reprinted old category romances. So like a lot of like Jennifer Cruzy books I own are Mira reprints of her Harlequin books. We've got one of the few from the I think pretty short-lived Harlequin Regency romance, which is why I grabbed it. I was like, oh, I found a Harlequin Regency. That's fun, because they did historical and they did have Regency in there, but this was, I think, supposed to be competition to Signet, and it was not. I don't think it worked out. But so this is not a very common or long-lived line, I don't think. And this is Dame Fortune's Fancy by Phyllis Taylor Pianka. I don't love this cover quite as much as some of the Signets, but I mean it's still got some sauce, you know. And finally, in category, we have a Tapestry, which is, I think, another category line that I didn't know anything about. And this is Forbidden Love by Maura Seeger, which I think this is a medieval. And oh, it does have the wraparound, actually. So this is the spine, and then this is the back with the butterflies. Love the horse. This is a great horse. We don't have enough horses on historical covers anymore, which is a real shame, in my opinion. We're on to single title, i.e. the big books, the chunkier books. Even more, Mary Belloc. I told you she was my favorite, so I have a lot of her. So the first Mary Belloc in big format I have is At Last Comes Love, which I believe is book 4 of the Huxtable Quintet. We have Then Comes Seduction, which I believe is the second one of the Huxtable Quintet. And then we have 2 from the Survivors Club. I read one of the books from the Survivors Club earlier this year and absolutely adored it. So when I saw some other ones, I had to grab them. So we have The Escape, which I believe is book 2 or 3. And then Only a Promise, which is book 7? It's somewhere in there. And we have book 2 of the Bedouin Saga, Slightly Wicked. I own this one. I own the last book in the series, Slightly Dangerous, which is many people's favorite Belloc. And I've read the first book, Slightly Married, and I want to like work my way through up to Slightly Dangerous. I'm sure I'll like it, but you know, I want to do it in order because I do like Mary Belloc. So, you know. And finally, we have Someone to Honor, which is a Westcott book. I think this is like book 2 or 3 in the series. So those are my Bellocs. Contemporaries, random contemporaries. We have Size Matters by Alison Bliss. This one, I think this is the first of a series with some plus size heroines. This came out in probably 2016, I think. 2016. We have Lauren Dane's Torn, which is part of the Whiskey Sharp series, which I thought was just so pretty. Like, just, I don't know, this is the type of like contemporary cover I really vibe with. Like, this, it's kind of got glitch vibes, you know? B.J. Daniels' Luck of the Draw. This woman has been writing romantic suspense for ages now, and she's very beloved, and I own a few more of her books, and so I would like to give this one a shot, and I hope it's great. Also, I'm on a journey to find cowboy books I like, and so, hey, look at that. That's a cowboy. He's got a cowboy hat on. That counts as a cowboy, okay? And also, we have Doing It Right by Mary Janice Davidson. I think this is actually a collection of 2 shorter books. I believe it's like 2 sisters and their sort of romantic suspensey relationships. I just thought this cover was so fun. I love like a hitman nod. So, 3 more historicals. I really should have put this in a better order. Next time. Okay, we have Cecilia Grant's A Gentleman Undone. This is the 2nd book of her series. I have not read these yet, but I own the 3rd one, so I saw this one and I was like, oh, this is great. The first one is like a green cover. It's very cute. I think it's A Lady Awakened. Yeah. The Dreamer by May McGoldrick. I believe this is actually a married couple, and this does have a bit of the wraparound. So you see our guy on the back cover. He's like in a castle or something, and he's got the tartan on. Isn't that fun? Again, this is like Highlander-y. I want to get more things that aren't Regency. And finally, a real golden find for me. Passion by Lisa Valdez. So this is one of the earlier sort of like erotic historical romance books. Very controversial at the time. People were very angry about this. I mean, there were people who loved it, don't get me wrong, but there were people who were like mad about defiling historical romance or something. Sadly, Lisa Valdez, I think she wrote 2 of the planned 4, and then she just disappeared. I think she was like so put off by the negative response she got that she just didn't continue. I hope she has a new pen name and is living her best life out there writing her smutty little historicals. But this is a real iconic text in historical romance canon, so I'm very excited to have it and read it. These are some kind of random ones. We've got Black Silk by Metzi Hingle, which is a romantic suspense novel. This is also by Mira, but I don't think this is actually a reprint. I think this is just Mira published books as well. They didn't just reprint books. And then we've got Model Behavior by Trisha Lynn. I think this cover is super cute. I think this is a second chance romance, sports romance. He was a football player. And, they bond while taking care of a dog. And what a cute dog it is. This one also had some, like, sticker nonsense, which is why this shows up weird on the camera. There we go. This is Ebony Snow's More Than You Know. And this is a arabesque romance. Arabesque was the first, it was the first line of books dedicated specifically to Black romance. And it started in 1994. It eventually got bought by BET, and then at some point it became Harlequin Kamani. It's a whole thing. So I will have to make a video about talking about that because it's really interesting. And finally, the person I really went all out on. No, I think I got more Bellogs actually, but I did go very all out on Susan Elizabeth Phillips. So I read Kiss an Angel by her last year, I believe, and it was an absolute experience. I think there are some people who like adore that book and it's like one of their favorites ever. That wasn't quite it for me, but I was really fascinated by the swing it took. Like it takes so many swings. The heroine is a tiger whisperer, for the record. Like, and I'm not joking. That is a thing. So it's really wild, and there's not much else like it. I feel like she has what I would call like the chutzpah, the audacity. She's got that audacity factor. So I have book 1 in the Chicago Stars, It Had to Be You. We have book 2 in Chicago Stars, Heaven, Texas. Something about this cover I really like. Oh, it's got such attitude, you know? And then we have Match Me If You Can, which is book 6 in the Chicago Stars series. And then I have 2 from the Wynette, Texas series, which is Lady Be Good, which is book 2. And What I Did for Love, which is book 5. So that was my book haul. Thank you all for listening to me ramble. I should probably ramble more or less. I don't know. Yeah, so thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.